In the heart of a lonely mountain stood a small mud cottage home to an old man named Mahubalam, who was around 75 years old. That night, everything was silent. The air was still, and Mahubalam slept soundly. Suddenly, a loud knock echoed through the cottage. Startled, he opened his eyes. Who could possibly be at my door at this hour? He muttered. No one ever comes to this deserted place. But the knocking didn't stop. It grew louder, shaking the door. Cautiously, Mahubalam got out of bed, walked to the door, and opened it. Standing outside were two young women, Ruhi and Sarah. Their faces glowed with a strange charm, made even more radiant by the moonlight. Something stirred deep inside the old man's chest. His voice trembled as he asked, "Who are you? What brings you here to such an empty place at this hour?" Ruhi replied softly, "We were on our way to Balpa, but we lost our path. Please, let us stay here for the night. We'll leave in the morning." The old man stared at them for a moment, then nodded. "Come inside," he said. He pointed to a corner of the cottage. "You can lie down there and rest." Ruhi and Sarah lay down together. Silence returned to the night. But as the darkness deepened, Ruhi suddenly felt as if someone was standing beside her. Half asleep, she opened her eyes and saw Mahubalam watching her with an unnerving stare. Startled, she sat up. "What happened? Why are you here?" The old man replied softly, "Nothing, child. You looked cold. I came to give you a blanket." Annoyed, Ruhi took the blanket and turned away. Even after she fell asleep, Mahubalam stood there, staring at them in silence. When morning came, Ruhi and Sarah said, "We should be leaving now." But the old man shook his head. "You can't leave today. You must stay one more night. A caravan will pass by tomorrow morning. I'll send you with them." The girls hesitated but finally agreed. "We'll wait until tomorrow," they said. The old man's lips curled into a faint smile. All day, he sat quietly, watching them from afar, his gaze heavy and strange. That evening, as the girls lay down again, fear and doubt clouded their hearts. When the night grew deep, Mahubalam rose silently from his bed and crept toward them. He sat near Ruhi's feet, touching her hand gently. Startled, she moved away. Then he went to Sarah, took her hand, and stared at her face with desire in his eyes. Sarah woke up and gasped, but before she could scream, Mahubalam covered her mouth and quickly returned to his bed, pretending to sleep. Sarah stayed awake the entire night, trembling in fear. Morning came again. Ruhi and Sarah asked, "Has the caravan arrived? Please, let us go." Mahubalam stared at them for a long moment and said, "No, not yet. It might come by evening." Ruhi frowned. "But you said it would come at dawn." He sighed. "It was delayed." "We're not staying any longer," Ruhi said firmly. "Caravan or not, we're leaving today." As they packed their things, Mahubalam watched them from the yard, his eyes dark and strange. "I don't like the way he's looking at us," Ruhi whispered. Sarah nodded. "You're right. He came near me again last night." Ruhi's eyes widened. "He did the same to me. We can't stay here another night." They decided to leave before sunset, but before they could go, Mahubalam appeared. "The caravan will arrive in the morning," he said. "They're moving slowly with heavy goods. Stay just one more night." This time the girls were angry. "We're not staying any longer," they said sharply. Mahubalam tried to persuade them. "It's dangerous to travel now. Wild animals roam these mountains after dark." But the girls could see through his lies. "Fine," Ruhi said coldly. "We'll stay, but tomorrow morning we're leaving no matter what." The old man smiled faintly, hiding something behind that smile. As night fell again, Ruhi and Sarah lay down together, whispering. "Keep your eyes closed so he thinks we're asleep," Ruhi said. Sarah nodded. "Yes, we'll stay alert." Across the room, Mahubalam pretended to rest but kept glancing toward them, one eye half open. When their movements stopped, he rose silently and crept toward them once more. He sat by Ruhi's feet and began massaging them. She moved slightly, and he pulled back. Then he went to Sarah, touched her forehead, and stroked her hair. Suddenly, Sarah's eyes opened. She froze in fear but said nothing. Mahubalam quietly returned to his bed. There was no guilt in his eyes, only a strange thrill. Morning arrived. The women confronted him. "Did you arrange the caravan? Or do you have another excuse?" Ruhi asked harshly. Mahubalam stayed silent, then said softly, "No, the caravan hasn't come." Sarah's voice rose in anger. "We knew it. You've been keeping us here for another reason." "We're leaving," Ruhi said. "Now." But as they reached the door, Mahubalam stood in their way. "You can't leave," he said in a cold, calm tone. "Move aside," Ruhi shouted, "or we'll scream." He smirked. "Scream all you want. No one will hear you. No one lives on this mountain." Sarah glared at him. "At your age, you should be ashamed." The old man's face darkened. "It's not what you think," he said. "The man you're looking for in Balpa, maybe he's much closer than you imagine." Ruhi frowned. "How do you know we're going to Balpa to find someone?" "I can't tell you now," he replied slowly. "But tomorrow, you'll get all your answers." The women exchanged worried glances. They no longer trusted him. They pushed him aside and ran out of the cottage. From behind, Mahubalam shouted, "Stop, everything will be ruined if you leave now." But they didn't stop. They kept walking until they were exhausted. Finally, they sat down, fear still in their eyes. Moments later, Mahubalam appeared again, breathing heavily. "This is the last time I'll say this," he said. "If you stay with me tonight, you won't need to go to Balpa." Ruhi looked at him sharply. "If you know something, say it now." He took a deep breath. "If I tell you now, everything will fall apart. Just know this, both of you are searching for your husbands." The woman froze. "Yes," Ruhi whispered. "We're looking for them." "But how do you know that?" "I know everything," he said. "But there's one condition. You must stay with me tonight. Then I'll tell you the truth." They exchanged uneasy glances. Was this another trap or something deeper? After a long pause, Ruhi said, "Fine, we'll stay. But this is the last night." Sarah nodded reluctantly. A strange light appeared in the old man's eyes, as if the moment he'd been waiting for had finally come. That night, the cottage was quiet once again. Ruhi and Sarah lay down, pretending to sleep, their minds restless. Across the room, Mahubalam sat on his bed, staring at them. The deeper the night grew, the more restless he became. Slowly, he stood up and walked toward them. He sat beside Ruhi and stared at her face for a long time before placing his hand on her chest. Ruhi instantly pushed him away and turned aside angrily. He then moved to Sarah, looked at her for a long while, and gently kissed her cheek. Sarah's eyes opened wide in shock. She turned her face away, saying nothing, her fear clear. Mahubalam quietly returned to his bed. His eyes showed no regret, only a sense of waiting, as if something inevitable was near. The first light of dawn crept through the walls. Ruhi and Sarah were still awake. Without wasting a moment, they slipped out of the cottage. They walked a long distance until they saw a young man sitting silently with his back toward them. "Who are you?" Ruhi asked. The man turned, and both women froze. "It's our husband," they cried, running to him with tears streaming down their faces. He hugged them tightly. "No," he said softly. "This isn't a dream. I've truly come back." Their hearts overflowed with joy. "But where were you all this time? And how did you end up near that old man? Do you know him?" The young man's eyes grew serious. "First, go and see where he is." They searched the cottage, but Mahubalam had vanished, completely gone. "He's disappeared," Ruhi whispered. The young man sighed. "Where he went, you'll have to understand yourselves. But first, let me tell you what happened," he continued. "One day, I was on my way to the market when I met an old man and a beautiful girl. The old man looked like a saint, and the girl was enchanting. I joked with her. I said she was too beautiful to be with someone so old. But then, she looked at me with strange eyes, whispered a few words, and blew a breath on me. In that moment, I turned into that old man. My real face disappeared." Ruhi and Sarah stood frozen, listening silently. The man continued. "She said it was a punishment. I would remain that way until my true loved ones recognized me. Only their pure love could break the curse. But I was forbidden from revealing who I was." Tears filled Ruhi's eyes. "Then, you were that old man?" The man nodded slowly. "Yes, I was Mahubalam." The two women broke down and rushed to embrace him. "Forgive us," they cried. "We didn't know." He gently placed his hands on their heads. "It's not your fault. Your hearts were true, and your love was pure. That truth has broken my curse." The three embraced tightly, their tears turning to smiles as they began walking together toward a new beginning, stronger than before. Moral of the story: a person's true identity isn't found in their appearance. It lies in the honesty of their heart and the purity of their love. True love endures every test, crosses every barrier, and always finds its way back. So, my friends, this was today's story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more tales like this.